Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a travel agent and a customer named Sarah booking a trip. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Good morning, Global Travel Agency. How can I assist you today?
Hi, I'd like to book a flight, please.
Certainly. May I have your full name?
It's Sarah Johnson.
Thank you, Miss Johnson. What's your destination?
Paris. I'm attending a conference there.
And your departure date?
The 12th of June.
Let me check availability. Here's a flight with British Airways, number BA317.
Perfect. Do you have any window seats left?
Yes, I can reserve a window seat for you. Any other special requests?
No, that's all.
Would you like to book any activities in Paris? We have a city tour on the 15th of July at AM for £25. It includes a guided tour of historic landmarks.
Sounds good. What about museums?
The Louvre visit is on the 16th at PM, costing £12. Children go free, but I assume that's not relevant for you?
No, just me.
We also offer a boat trip on the Seine River on the 17th at 9:30 in the morning for £18. Don't forget to bring sunscreen. It can get sunny.
I'll note that. Any cooking classes?
Yes, on the 18th at PM for £30. Maximum group size is 10 people.
Great. Lastly, any evening events?
A classical concert on the 19th at PM. Tickets are £40 and booking is required in advance.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 2. You will hear a talk about the Green Valley Nature Reserve. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Welcome to Green Valley Nature Reserve. Established in 1995 to promote ecotourism and protect local wildlife. Our reserve spans 500 hectares of forest, wetlands, and meadows. While our primary goal is ecotourism, we also collaborate with universities for scientific research on endangered species, like the red-tailed hawk. The reserve is open year-round, but spring and autumn are the most popular seasons. The main attraction is our hiking trails. Over 20 kilometers of paths with varying difficulty levels. Bird watching is also popular, especially near the wetlands, where you can spot herons and kingfishers. Photography enthusiasts love the sunrise views from the Eastern Ridge. Facilities include a visitor center with maps and restrooms, free parking, and a picnic area. Unfortunately, we don't have a restaurant, but visitors often bring their own food. Guided tours run daily at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., costing £10 per person. These tours highlight the reserve's history and key wildlife habitats.
Now you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 16 to 20.
Let me guide you through the reserve's layout. As you enter through the main gate, you'll see the visitor center straight ahead. To your left is the birdwatching tower, a 3-story structure overlooking the wetlands. To your right is the entrance to the hiking trail, marked with yellow signs. Behind the visitor center, you'll find the picnic area with tables and benches. Further east, past the picnic area, is the camping site, which requires prior booking.
That is the end of section 2. Now you have half a minute to check your answers. Section 3. You will hear 2 students, James and Sophie, discussing their research project for a university assignment. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
So, Sophie, we need to finalize our research project on renewable energy sources. Have you finished gathering your data?
Almost. I focused on solar energy, because it's one of the fastest growing energy sources. I found some interesting statistics on installation rates and cost reductions over the past decade.
That sounds great. I worked more on wind power, especially offshore wind farms. The technology has improved significantly, and there's been a huge increase in global capacity.
That's a good balance. How did you collect your data?
I used government reports and industry surveys. They provide detailed figures on energy output and long-term sustainability.
I relied more on case studies from different countries. Some nations, like Germany, have ambitious renewable energy targets, and their strategies offer valuable insights.
Right. I think we should compare the efficiency of solar and wind power in different conditions. That could be one of our key findings.
Agreed. We should also mention the main challenges, like energy storage and weather dependency.
Definitely. I'll write up a summary of my findings, and we can merge our sections together.
Now you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 26 to 30.
Okay, now that we have our research sections, let's talk about the structure of our presentation. How should we introduce our topic?
I think we should start with some statistics about global energy consumption and the shift towards renewables. It sets the stage for why our research is important.
Good idea. After that, we can compare solar and wind power. Should we present them separately or discuss them together?
Maybe separately at first, then highlight their advantages and disadvantages side by side. That way, the audience can see a clear comparison.
That makes sense. And for the conclusion, we should include recommendations. What do you think is the most crucial factor in expanding renewable energy?
I'd say government policies play a big role. Incentives and subsidies can accelerate adoption.
True, but I think technological advancements are equally important. Better battery storage and efficiency improvements could make a huge difference.
That's a good point. Let's include both perspectives in our final recommendations.
Now you have some time to check your answers. Section 4. You will hear a lecture on renewable energy. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today's lecture explores renewable energy, a critical solution to global warming. Renewable energy comes from sunlight and wind, as well as geothermal heat and biomass. Solar power, generated through solar panels, converts sunlight into electricity. These panels are most efficient in regions with high solar irradiance, such as deserts. Wind energy, on the other hand, relies on turbines placed in coastal areas, or open plains where wind speeds exceed 6 meters per second. Hydropower, the oldest renewable source, harnesses flowing water rivers, tides, or man-made dams to generate electricity. Over the past decade, technological advancements have reduced solar panel costs by 70%. However, a persistent challenge is energy storage. Solar and wind are intermittent, so excess energy must be stored in batteries for cloudy or windless days. One major benefit of renewables is reduced carbon emissions. For example, Denmark now generates 50% of its electricity from wind, cutting emissions by 40% since 1990. To accelerate adoption, governments offer tax incentives, such as subsidies for rooftop solar panels. Looking ahead, researchers must focus on efficiency improvements. Innovations like perovskite solar cells and solid-state batteries could revolutionize the sector. In conclusion, renewable energy is not just an alternative, it's the future.
That is the end of section 4. Now you have half a minute to check your answers.